remarks and welcome address. For that, we shall be having on stage Dr. Satya Brahma, Chairman and Editor-in-Chief, Network 7 Media Group. Dr. Satya Brahma is India's most respected and distinguished journalist and Chairman and Editor-in-Chief of Network 7 Media Group. Known for championing the cause of citizens' rights and free speech, Dr. Satya Brahma has been at the forefront of United Nations peace programs. Dr. Satya Brahma is also the author of Vision India, Truth versus Hype. Satya ji is an industry expert and one of India's top journalists. Satya ji, Dr. Satya holds a master's degree in political science with first gold medalist from Berhampur University, that's in Orissa, and has master's degree in journalism and mass communication and PhD in mass communication. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Dr. Satya Brahma to deliver the welcome address. Can we have the AV, please?
Totally controlling India actually. I am for those people, I am for those marginalized section of the society, I want to be voice of them actually. Come what may, I will never compromise on my principles and I will never do anything that actually detrimental to them.
Realizing the ambition of becoming a great power requires more of India. The richest in India have made their money through crony capitalism rather than through innovation or the fair rules of the market. What is particularly worrying in India's case is that economic inequality is being added to a society that is already fractured along the lines of caste, religion, region and gender. We need to increase tax collection through progressive direct taxation such as introducing wealth and inheritance taxes and spending them on health, education and nutrition for the underprivileged, focusing especially on the early childhood development of the poor. Meet Dr. Satya Brahma, the fearless editor-in-chief of Network 7 Media Group, also the founder-chairman of Network 7 Media Group. Satya says over 68% of India's population lives in rural areas. There has been a gradual increase in migration from villages to cities, primarily for livelihood opportunities, better education and healthcare facilities, among others. The rising burden on urban cities due to migration emphasizes the need to transform villages so that they can meet the critical as well as aspirational needs of the villagers. Satya is of the opinion that India will gradually increase in power, becoming the world's third largest economy during the next 10 to 20 years. Yet it will also continue to be marked by the same paradox that characterizes China today, having a large economic mass that does not translate into high levels of distributed prosperity. India's journey towards true great power capabilities is thus likely to be long and arduous. Satya's primary research focus is the political economy of India, and he examines issues such as corruption and governance, state capacity, distributive politics, and electoral behavior. Satya also conducts research on the Indian diaspora. Political financing through electoral bonds enables corporates to secure privileged access, power and influence in government policy making. The leader of the main opposition party is unseated from parliament and 146 members of parliament find themselves suspended for daring to question the government. Federal agencies incarcerate two sitting chief ministers from opposition parties under draconian money laundering laws. A first in the history of independent India, the ruling party has amassed roughly $1 billion through secretive electoral bonds. A sitting High Court judge abandons allegiance to the independence of the judiciary and resigns to join the ruling party. To make matters worse, journalists critical of the government face routine investigation and arrest. Opposition parties face a hostile television media largely beholden to oligarchs and corporate interests. This political scene is not unfolding in Russia, Belarus, Turkey, China, Cambodia or Pakistan. This is happening in the world's largest democracy, India. Dr. Satya Brahma is of the opinion that if India is to continue to hold its reputation as a democratic country, it is incumbent upon constitutional bodies, the Election Commission, the courts and the Prime Minister himself to protect the democratic heritage of this great nation. But if the trends in the last decade of Modi's rule tell us anything, it is that his lust for power has grown manifold and has no constitutional morality. The rich and powerful trying to stop us publishing stories they don't want you to see. Authoritarian states with no regard for the freedom of the press. The opposition, though with its hands and legs tied, needs to fend for itself. It needs to confront a powerful election machinery unprecedented in India's history, not solely to win back power, but to preserve the principles of democracy on which this country rests. We need to see a vibrant India where the widening gap between the rich and poor are minimized, healthcare facilities are delivered to the last miles. Inflation and unemployment are among the most significant factors that determine the strength of a country's economy, and government of the day must address the challenges and find long-term therapy and not just confined to political sloganeering. Government institutions become more responsible and trusted by the people. A system where humanity reigns, not religion. A Bharat that is equal for all. And a Rama Rajya where all Indians are one and united. Let's build that.
Please welcome Dr. Satya Brahma, India's most respected and distinguished journalist and chairman and editor-in-chief of Network 7 Media Group.
Thank you, Leslie, for your kind words. These are really heart-touching. A very good morning to all of you, ladies and gentlemen, for this wonderful program. I'm hosting this 13th Annual India Leadership Conclave 2024 at a time when the country is going for an election where all the phases are over except around 100 seats. The picture that we get to now is that on one side, India has improved a lot globally. The name India has made its mark as one of the strongest nations in the world to long for. We are fifth largest economy now, and very soon will be around third largest economy in the world. This is precisely happening because the robustness of the Indian economy, the economy of our country is so strong, and the fundamentals are so vehemently actually getting us the grip that the economy is going to prosper. There is no doubt about it actually. And if you look at whether the small scale industry or the long mid-term agencies, you will find there has been a growth momentum. India as a nuclear weapon state has also achieved globally. But the real concern is about the social and the cultural part of it. I am proudly a Hindu actually, and I call myself India not as in India, as a Bharat. I would love to call myself as the Bharat, which is actually a Sanskrit word which has been there for a long time. But we are living in an unprecedented time. We are living in a time when there are no freedom of speech, where people are muzzling and suppressing the voice of the journalist. I don't blame Narendra Modi, Prime Minister Modi, for what he has done actually. I blame the entire system. I had the privilege of interviewing Prime Minister Modi 3 to 4 times when he was the Chief Minister of Gujarat, but when he became the Prime Minister, I could meet only once, and after that he didn't give me any interview, but doesn't make any difference. But what is done for the nation is really very good actually. The theme of this India Leadership Conclave is governance. India at 2047, the big picture. Where would you like to see India in that sense actually? If you look at India's economic growth, if you look at India as a global power, people are listening to it actually. Many of you who are sitting over there will agree with me that we should not boycott totally the China actually. China is actually the biggest importer of the drugs, the pharmaceuticals, all those electronic items and everything. If you boycott relationship with China purely on the basis of the geographical and the expansion attitude, it's not going to hold any water actually. We know that we have a hostile neighbor like Pakistan. There is a problem in Balochistan. The Syria, there is a problem. There is a Russian invasion of Ukraine. There is a Brexit. There is this Vladimir Putin is creating an havoc. There are no relation happening between America and Russia, and China and Russia are mixing together and helping Pakistan do it. We understand all these arithmetics. I understand these things are happening, and I also know that these are the foreign policies that India has evolved over the times. But why there is a hypocrisy that let's admit that China has taken away around about 43,000 square foot of our land in the Peichong areas. This is the fact actually that we have to admit. We have a great army actually. Indian army are the honest and the most efficient army in the world actually. They're there to protect it actually. But China cannot threaten us that, look, if you're not going to listen to us, we'll encroach upon you and we'll do that one. Time has come for Prime Minister Modi to make his own voice actually. We cannot simply threaten Pakistan. We must also give a strong voice to Jinping, saying that India is no more a country where we used to listen in the past and we are not going to listen now. This is the message I think it should go to the all part of the country in the world, and we must tell them that India has come in its own way. We are soon going to be the third largest economy. We have that biggest demographic dividends, and we have the unity in diversity. Our people are much more scholarly. If you look at any country, you will find Indians there. Go to US actually. There are lots of Indo-American peoples over there. You go to any part of the world, you will find Indian talents over there. And I can tell you with a full sense of responsibility that if you leave Indian talent over there, you cannot find anybody who are doing wonders in the different parts of the world. India as a strong nation must establish its positions and must raise its voice to the global platform, being one of the global power actually. And we must also look at to give autonomy to the various institutions like the Election Commission of India, like the CBI, like the Enforcement Direct, like the income tax authorities actually. You cannot know more than there are 95 cases against the opposition leader. There are no cases against the BJP leaders actually. Why this kind of hypocrisy actually? I oppose those kind of things who are doing it actually. If something is wrong, means wrong. If Arvind Kejriwal is wrong, put him behind the bar, but don't take any lesson from him, and don't do it actually. Fight him politically if you want to do it actually. Don't do anything which is wrong, but let the law take its own course. This is giving a very bad signal to the entire world actually. I don't want any foreign press media to write any bad things about India. It hurts me when they say that India has become a dictator. India is not a dictatorship. India is actually a democracy. India has maintained its democracy. We have all caste of religions. We have around 23% religions. We cannot say that Hindus are there and we must tell them that Hindus are not growing, only Muslims are growing. There are people who are there in the center who are trying to create religion. You talk about governance, you talk about what you have done for the nation, you talk about Swachh Bharat, you talk about Digital India, you talk about Skill India, you talk about Ayushman Bharat, you talk about various programs measures of the government. But let us not divide people on the basis of religion and create this kind of confusion. We as a nation are one. India is the one nation that is going to stand out in the future, and we must make our imprint in the near future. That is Bharat for you. Thank you all, and we'll have a great sessions ahead, and thank you very much.